Hello and welcome back to another video. This video actually follows on from the last video. So the one I put up before this was a tour of our allotment plot. I filmed it all as one tour, but when I was editing it I realised that it went on quite a while, so I split it into two. We have two allotment plots. So the last video is from our original allotment plot, and this one is from our newer one. We've had it a couple of years, but it's the newer one. So this one isn't quite as long because there isn't as much going on this plot. But you need to, if you haven't seen the other one, you sort of need to watch that one first, because like some of the things I refer to, I mentioned in the other one. Yeah, so let's get on with this one, and I hope you enjoy this one. Right, I'm just on my way to our other plot. As I said, not so much going on down there. We've sort of not put as much work into this one. Don't really have any no-dig beds or anything. It's sort of where a lot of our excess stuff goes. Apart from the stuff in the polytunnel, we use that quite well. But the first bit of the, if you've seen my tours before, you'll see, but the first bit is like a wooded bit. So it's got plums, not as many, and then this tree here, oh sorry to spin you, it's green gage, and it did really well last year, so many. And then this year I could probably count about 10 on there. So again, we've had one really good year and then not so good year. This is that sour cherry tree that I was just telling you about. So there's a cherry there. It gets quite a lot of cherries on it, as I say, they're just sour ones. So, and then we also have some like raspberries that have just do their own thing, but I picked like a whole sort of punnet of them the other day. We've never done anything with them, they're just there. It's part of my little food forest that I should sort of leave and do nothing with. Oh, that was nice. Right, let me turn this round and show you what's going on here. So over this side we've got this big bed. I think I talk about this every time. It's not filled just with compost. It's got sticks, cuttings, wood, all at the bottom. We have topped it up this year because everything sort of went down with some more manure. And last year I grew my crown prince in here and they grew really, really well. This year I'm trying Turk's turbans. So we've just got 4 in there. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to put in there yet. I've got some chickpeas that desperately need going out that I might stick in there, see how they do. I've got some tomatoes here. These are now, as I was saying earlier, we're not watering as much. These are starting to show some signs of needing water, as you can see, because they are only in pots there. So I will give these a water and try and stand that up a bit better, because it's getting heavy with the tomatoes on it. This one's got quite a few tomatoes on it. Not sure what variety this is. This is a money maker, so there'll be a nice sort of salad size tomato. And then we've got a few more here, and then I've got a couple more there, and then we've got this bed. I'll come back, I've sort of skipped a few here. It's got tomatoes. You can't always see on the camera because of the grass around the side. So when we first put them in, they looked a bit iffy, but they seem to be doing all right now. I've put some marigolds in between just because we had some, and these are again just stuck in because they needed planting out, and this bed was free, so they were just put in here to grow. I'm not sure what variety they are because they don't have labels, but yeah, they're tomatoes. We'll see what happens. Here we've got some courgettes. So we've had a couple of courgettes. So I've had a big green, you know, like the ones you buy in the supermarket, off of this one. And I think it was this plant, or it might have been this plant. I've got the green, of course they're all green, the light green ones that grow like more rounded. So this is one of the dark green ones. I'm sure, yeah, this was the light green one here. Yeah, I can see where I've cut it, but there's no more on there at the moment. This is like a scallop, so a patty pan, just starting to bulb up there. Got some more courgettes on here. We haven't had our glut. Oh, this is one of the lighter ones. You see where it's just a lighter green, and here, and they grow sort of more rounded rather than long, but they're really tasty. So yeah, got some nice courgettes coming, ready for our courgette glut. Got some leeks in there, and then I've got an arch here which I was going to put some pumpkins on, but Mum planted them somewhere else. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to, when them climbing beans grow, I'm going to put some of them over there, and then we've just got a random, I don't know what that is, it's either a courgette or a patty pan or something like that. It is a courgette Black Beauty. Oh, some dark ones there then, maybe. Actually I think it might just be a dark green one. And then into the polytunnel, just scared of butterflies. No, it's just gone. We have quite a lot going on in here. This I put here the other day. What I realised, I came down in the rain and I noticed there was a hole. And I noticed there was a hole because it was dripping. So I thought, right, I'm going to stick a pot under it. So I did, and it's like literally full up. Oh, there was a dead bee though, sorry. I didn't mean to kill you. Which is, you know, I'm trying to save rainwater wherever I can. So that will be enough to water these. So I'm going to do that and then put it back in case it rains again. There we go, put it back there. Catch some more rain if it rains. Right, so we've got some tomatoes here. And they have got some tomatoes on. Looking lovely. These are Money Maker. I just stuck that little tumbling tom in the other day. I'm not sure how well it's going to do. It was desperately needed potting on, so I just stuck it in there. Got some more chilies here. So these are cayenne, starting to flower. These are cayenne as well. These two I bought from the shop because I thought my ones that I grew weren't doing very well, but then all of a sudden they started to grow. So doesn't matter, we can have lots more. These are the ones I grew from home, so they've started to grow now, but they got stuck for ages. And then there's some over here. I just put them in this front of here. And then these are sweet peppers. And then there's some aubergines in there, some spring onions still from one of the first things we grew of the year. Some aubergines. Then we've got tomatoes. Got Black Beauty there, it's looking nice. I need to put some sticks in here actually. Yeah, so with the Roma, I've never had them grow like that before, but normally with all our tomatoes, whichever one we grow, we take out the suckers. So what I mean by suckers is typically, oh look, here's one. So you have the stem, you have the leaf, and then in between the sort of elbow bit, you have this, and we take them off. So then all you end up with is a stem and some leaves, and then later on we take off the lower leaves as well. But I think it was Tracy on our small holding adventure said that she heard that Romas, you don't do that. So I thought, well, what have we got to lose? So we've just left them. This one is quite bushy, and then I've got some in the greenhouse as well that are a bit, not as bushy as that, but yeah, we've just sort of left them, and we'll see how they do. You know, these things are always worth a try. And then over here we've got cucumbers, so it's just like loads of different cucumbers. There's a crystal apple, I think, the Telegraph Improved. Got some little chilies in between. This is crystal apple there, and then got some aubergines at the front, Black Beauty aubergines, which are looking good. And then I've got some aubergines at the back there, and another pot of cucamelons there. Whew, hot in that polytunnel. These are my chickpeas. As I told you, they're desperate to go out. So I'm still going to plant them out, but I'm not holding out much hope for them. Bless them. We've got right. So we've got this massive bed here. These potatoes here were all ones that were left in from last year and have started growing again. So we've left them to see if we get any potatoes from them. And then we left them in last year's because they all had little holes in them, so we just stopped digging them up really. And then the rest of it is going to be my little pumpkin patch. So we've got lots of pumpkins and squashes. The ones at the front are probably patty pans because they don't tend to spread, they just bush, whereas all the others spread. And in here, the yukikuri didn't do anything, unfortunately. In here we've got a right old mixture. I'm just going to pick up this, I don't know where that's Tahiti squash melon one, and I'm not sure where that's coming from, so I'll just leave it. So yeah, there's Tahiti squash, Tahiti melon squash, which is a bit like a butternut squash. We've got another Tahiti melon. What else have we got? Oh, sweet dumpling. So I think some of these are sweet dumplings. But yeah, they're looking all right at the moment. When I grew this as a pumpkin patch 2 years ago, it was phenomenal. Like, it literally was just solid, and they all grew really, really well. So I'm hoping for much of the same thing. And then over here, these ones are looking good. These ones are Turk's turban. There's a few Turk's turbans there then. And then these are harlequins that these are the ones that I was going to plant over the arch. But Mum just popped them in here because they were looking a bit dodgy. So hopefully they'll pick up and grow some more. So that's a tour of both our plots. This one, as I say, we don't utilise the space quite as well as on the other one. This one just seems to have so many weeds and stuff that just grows back. So next year, like this, just was ridiculous with weeds. Mum made a really good job of clearing it all. Once we've dug up all of this, once it's all finished, we're going to just cover it and hope that that sort of stops some of the weeds. I've just noticed there's some more random raspberry plants over here. Not that I'm sure if I can get to them because we've got a little pond here, believe it or not. But there's loads of raspberries there, so I'm going to try and pick some of them because they look nice. Raspberries are one of the easiest things to grow. You don't have to do anything with them. They just grow. Yeah, so we're going to cover it all and hope that that sort of deters some of the weeds. So yeah, this one is just a little bit harder work. So we don't always have the time. We just use it as like overflow. So once these are in, you don't tend to have to do too much with them. We'll feed them, but other than that, that's all we'll do. And then this bed along here, we have just sort of left as well, because again, this plot here, they didn't come at all last year, and they've actually come about a few weeks ago and cleared it all. But other than that, it was just solid with weeds. So you just end up fighting a losing battle because they just keep coming over, and in the end you give up and just use the beds that are easier. So that's what we're going to do. We are starting to actually get some produce now. That butterfly's gone back in there again. You're going to get stuck. I'll get that one out in a minute. We are starting to get some produce now, which is good. So we've had some broad beans. I'll change arms, that's making my arm ache. We've had strawberries. We've had some courgettes, as I said. Mum's had some cucumbers at home. And what else have we had? Some lettuce and some peas. We had loads of peas. They were great. Tomatoes are starting to come. They just, obviously need a little bit more time to turn red. Courgettes are coming. Hopefully the patty pans won't be far behind. And we will start to have some good produce, and you start to see the efforts of all your hard work. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.